Hey guys, got done watching another horror film directed by Scott Spiegel, starring Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and Bruce Campbell. But but Bruce Campbell's only in it at the end, like a cameo. So obviously that doesn't really matter. But if you're a purist and you wanna, or a completist, sorry, if you're a completist and you wanna see him in something else, that film is Intruder. He's only in it for like what, a minute, 2 minutes. This is a great Blu-ray release from Synapse Films. It's got loads of special features, so let's get on with the Blu-ray disc review. It's got an all-new 2K digital restoration of the original uncensored director's cut. It's got audio commentary from writer director Scott Spiegel and producer Lawrence Bender. Slash prices, the making of Intruder, an all-new featurette retrospective. Extended murder sequences from the original work print. Outtakes from the now lost short film Night Crew. Original cast audition footage, behind the scenes still gallery, an original theatrical trailer, and more. Now it's all regions, so if you want the film and you want it imported somewhere, it's region A, B, and C, and the DVD is regional as well, which is handy. It has a combo pack of Blu-ray DVD. One disc is missing because it's in the player from when I just finished watching it with my friend on Skype, and it's got a lovely picture inside of someone who's been murdered. So this is the director's cut of the film. Oh, and you get this booklet in it which basically says about other releases, basically like Maniac Cop, Nailgun Massacre, and stuff like that. So the film basically starts off with Jennifer in the store, and basically she's getting harassed by her ex-boyfriend Greg, who basically seems a bit of a psychopath because he's calling her, he's going in there, he punches her at one point and gives her a bloody nose, and basically runs around the store hiding from people for the first 40 minutes. And he gets caught and basically thrown out and all this other stuff. And basically he goes a bit crazy, and you think, oh, is he the murderer? You know, is he the person who's going to do all the horrible stuff in the film? Well, to be honest with you, you go through the thing and you get Bill and Danny are the two co-owners of the store. And they're shutting the store down and selling it, and basically they're cutting everything 50 to 50% off so they can sell it before the store sells. And the staff in there got until basically the beginning of next month before they're fired, basically, but they're going to get big hefty bonuses to make up for it. Obviously they're not happy. And Bill's slightly not happy because he's only got 49% of the store, basically, and Danny has the 51%. So he doesn't really have a choice. He has to follow because it's not 50-50. Bit ironic, but, you know, bit convenient, I should say. So the film's called Intruder, which I don't think really makes sense because I think it's supposed to think Greg is an intruder, but it's not really an intruder. It should have been called something like Walnut Lake Supermarket Killer or something. So basically, Danny and Bill, Bill's not exactly happy with Danny, and he storms out. And you see a picture of them together, and Danny throws it in the bin. And you get to know all the different characters. I couldn't be bothered to know their names because I knew they were all going to die. There's one in there which is really nerdy, which is really funny because he's constantly listening to his, tape Walkman. His Walkman. And basically, he never pays attention to anybody. When he gets killed, it's quite funny. The best murder in it, by far, has to be the slicer, where the guy's head goes through the slicer. Very graphic and really good. I mean, the graphicness of the kills doesn't really add up until probably like the last 30 minutes. Then they start getting a bit more gorier. So basically, Greg is hiding, and Bill finds him outside, and Bill attacks him, and Greg hits him over the head with like a hammer, knocks him out. You see Greg run off, and then one by one, people start getting murdered, and you start thinking, oh, what's going to happen? So you know already that Jennifer's going to be the female lead because of what's happened at the beginning. So you know she's not going to die. You got a friend Linda who basically goes out to her car to leave and gets killed with a knife. And it's not a bad kill, but you don't see anything. And that's what got me with the films at first. Like, I heard that the film was very gory, like, you know, and at the beginning, the first few murders, you're like, well, there's no gore here, really. But then it adds up nearly. I think it's supposed to get you interested in the people and all this. So then, so then when it gets to the climax, oh, no, but Jennifer falls in love with another man, not Greg, who works in the store, and I can't remember his name. But it was Randy or something. And she's making out with him on the counter, and another guy gets killed while that happens, and you think, oh dear, and then you see Craig looking in the mirrors and Craig all around, and then she knocks Craig out, and something else happens, and you're like, wow. But when you do get to the killer, who the killer is, so I'm not going to say because I think that would ruin it. It's actually quite funny because the things he says when he's chasing the people around and all this, like, oh, I want myself a barbecue and all this stuff, really funny, you know. And I have to say, when she finds the dead bodies, that is actually quite funny because one of them's in the bin, in a bin with the 50% off, like, bold next to him, which is quite funny. The film itself, I don't think was meant to be taken seriously because it's very comical in a lot of ways. Now, it could just be because it was made in 1989. But I did find it more funny than scary. One of the bits when she gets to, there's somebody like somebody comes up to like the entrance because it's like glass entrance like you do with supermarkets, and she's like, help me, and he gets him right through the back. It's really funny because the killer just bops him on the head, so he goes down on the floor. That's quite funny. Another thing I've noticed about these horror films is every single killer, when they're stalking, has got a serious breathing problem, like they've got really bad asthma or something. So that's always interesting. There's another bit in it where the killer's looking like in this glass thing, or like a toaster thing, and he looks like Zordon from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Which is quite funny. But the film itself is pretty good. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's the best movie, but the cover sells it on the Blu-ray. And let's be honest, it's a fun movie. I mean, you don't see these supermarket horror movies. Well, I haven't. Not lately anyway, and I'm open to while I'm in like these movie genre things. So, what do I think of Intruder? I think it's a fairly good movie with great. I think it's got a great soundtrack, great music scores. I think the kills are pretty well done, especially the second half of them. And I think that the actual film is worth buying. I think it's worth buying if you give it a go. Before I did these films, I tried watching it and I turned it off halfway through. I think that wasn't because I was bored, but because I was not in the in the mind for it, like the mood. Because I think I just found out someone in my family had died or something. Not that that matters for this review, but I think it was something like that, you know, where you're not in the mood to watch things. So I gave it a chance today, and I really enjoyed it. The music is great. The characters are pretty good. I liked them all because you got to know most of them. And I found them quite interesting, even though I didn't care about half their names because I knew they were going to die. It was a great film. I did enjoy it a lot, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. It's not the best, but it's a decent watch if you just want to watch a horror film for a horror film. You know, if you don't want anything special, it's like watching, to me, it's like watching a Friday the 13th sequel, like number 4 or 5. You know, like down the line, where it's not great, but you still watch it because it's fairly decent. So, I recommend getting the movie. I recommend giving it a go. I recommend watching it because it's a fun movie and, you know, not taking it seriously. And when you get to the end, the killer's awesome because he's hysterically funny. So, yeah, definitely give Intruder a go and I hope you enjoy it. And let me know what you think of the movie down below. It was made in 1989. So take care and have a lovely day.